don't know. Oh, we are live. Okay. I gotta go through my phone so that I can see. Mhm. All righty. Dang. All right, y'all. I'm here with Sabrina on a good Friday um, evening. I'm ready. Look, I'm ready. I had it last week when I was talking with Monica, but I didn't crack it open. I'm ready today. I am
You ain't by
ready.
yourself.
Okay, so how's it going?
Good, good.
All is well.
Yes.
I couldn't.
Thank goodness.
I tried to watch most of your video this morning, and I was like, I can't. But then it kept freezing, so I was like, okay. So
Oh man, it was
I
a
missed. I missed the majority of it. I mean, I know something was going on. I don't know.
yeah.
But
I thought I
anyway,
was gonna die, but I'm alive. I'm all right.
yeah, I heard all of that, and you was like, obviously, I'm alive, and
Right.
then so I was like, okay, all right. So hey, Monique and Denisha,
Hey,
and
ladies. I
hey,
don't know
y'all.
why
All right.
I can't see
I
names,
have to
certain
look at
names
my
on my
phone.
phone.
Yeah, I have to look at my phone to see the names.
Yeah.
So let me pull up my notes. So we are here today to talk about my chats are about books and the books that I like, that I want to chat about that I'm not able to, get with everybody and chat about. So I'm here to talk about Plus and the Fold series. So
Okay.
you kind of told us on uh Jesus, I don't even know the name of my own damn event. That's a doggone shame. At the virtual events, you
Yes.
kind of told us where it came from that you was gonna write about a rapper, and
Yeah.
so kind of enlighten the ladies who did not participate in that one about how that came to be. This look way different
Okay.
on camera than me.
Okay. Hey everybody, everybody that's coming in. It was Plus was supposed to be, well, the rapper, the book about the rapper who was named don't give me no hard time about this name because we done moved past this, but Josh message, so she making me rehash this memory. But the original rapper's name was Frello Blue. I ain't finna talk about that. I don't know where it came from. That was gonna be his name. And it was gonna be a book about a rapper who met a fan at a book signing and fell in love with her. But I wrote that book.
Oh,
Yeah, I wrote that book and it's still sitting somewhere. Maybe I can, edit it and sell it to somebody. But my rapper wound up being Plus. I found a way to insert him into the erotic series Naughty and Nasty, and that's where he was introduced. And then him and Tashina got their love story from there.
see, you talking about me being messy. Look at Monique talking about Sabrina. Make sure you tell the truth. That's Monique. She said that before too. It's like make sure you tell the
Very
truth.
messy, very messy.
Okay, so I think many of us fell in love with Plus, but I'm not gonna lie to you. Even though you gave a description of Plus, for me, Plus wasn't no light bright dude. I don't know why in my head he wasn't. Even though you say it several
Yeah.
times and they be making jokes about being light skinned and all of that, in my head I don't see it, which it ain't from. I mean, you're supposed to use your own imagination, but I
Yeah.
get it. And then when you shared the picture the other day, it was like, look what popped up, and I was like, that still ain't him in my mind, even though
That
he
ain't
is
him.
light skinned
Oh.
in my mind. I vision this chocolate dude. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's me
It's
with
his
dreads and
personality, I
chocolate.
think. I think it's
Yes,
his personality.
that is. I was gonna say that
Yeah.
later on. That's exactly it. His personality is not like, but it don't
Typical
matter. Long
light
as they
skinned person. We
no, not at
can
all.
say that. This
Not
is a safe place to say that. He don't have
yeah.
typical light
He
skinned
not.
personality.
See, somebody Ethel said it too. She said in her head he is dark chocolate sexy. Yes,
Cause
very
that's
dark
what y'all
chocolate
like.
sexy.
That's what y'all want.
You know what? You right. I'm not even gonna hate, and I don't hate on the light skinned brothers, but that is so not what I'm attracted to. I think that you like I can't even. I don't
it,
see it.
it just
Like
don't do it for you.
all of this chocolate. I've been thinking about pictures and selfies. All this chocolate and no, I don't see it for me. But whatever, whatever. So I'm gonna start off. I can vividly see in my head um based on your description, which is hilarious. When he's standing there, when Plus is standing there, he's just Kenny. When he goes to Homeboy to try to get some money in these big old baggy pants,
Yeah.
and the guy, and you said something in the beginning about that man being his whole description. I just was cracking up laughing. Um,
The cow guy, the little short
yes,
cow. Yeah.
he's short, and you said he got long fingers. And
Yeah.
then I read a part where he was like, he don't have no shirt on, and I was like, what,
he just
bruh?
he just a gangster. He don't really need a lot of clothes. He just, he
But
don't
in the
really need a
description,
cow was a little dude, just had money and guns. He ain't need a lot of clothes.
he need a lot of clothes. I got it. I got you. I got you. So then I felt bad because I was laughing at the man, and then not
Yep,
even an hour later
shame.
he was.
Oh, oh. I ain't want to have to kill Cal, but somebody had to
somebody had
go.
somebody had to go. So I get it. I get it. I get it. I get
Yeah.
it. So they both went through so much. I wrote in my notes that even though it's like a romance love story, but it touches on so many different levels.
Yeah.
Like they both went through so much as a child, as children, along teenagers on top of that. Um, and so many issues that in families, even today. Now,
Hmm.
I'm a product of, I tell my age, I was born in 1968. I'm going on 52. And I can remember situations in our family where, like, me and my mother was having a conversation as adults. And it was like, well, so and so said such and such. And she was like, back then, and my mother was a young mother. She had me when she was 21, I think.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So, yeah, she had me when she was 21. And my aunt had children young as well. And she said that in them times when a kid, I didn't experience this, but when a kid would come and say something, everybody got in trouble. It was like all of y'all was doing something you ain't had no
Yeah.
business doing together. And it wasn't, she said back then, it wasn't like, oh, let me get you some help, let me get you some counseling, or let me sit here and
Right.
talk to you about what's wrong. I'm beating everybody ass because
Right.
y'all shouldn't have been doing that at all. So I think I don't want to say I think in their family. I think their family went a whole lot deeper than that. Even though I don't want to get into the faux part yet, but even though that stuff comes out later on,
Hmm.
they had a lot of issues that they just were blind to and didn't know how to
To
deal
deal with
with
it.
it. And we think, oh, back then in the 70s,
Hmm.
yeah. Well, I'm an 80. I say I'm of the 80s baby. That's what I mean. That I was. Um, they didn't know how to handle it. So now,
Yeah.
even now, but even reading, I'm thinking, well, this is a little more further on along in
Hmm.
years, but then they still don't, generational curses don't know, let's do
They,
better.
yeah. Until
So
somebody breaks the cycle, it just keeps on happening.
it keeps
Unfortunately.
happening. It keeps happening. So what made you go that route in the love story?
Well, I have this one was actually personal. Sometimes my characters relate to people I know, but when it comes to characters that are dealing with sexual abuse or sexual assault or anything like that, that's something that I've dealt with personally. I was molested as a child. A lot of people know it. I've put it out there to the world. I'm not ashamed. I know it wasn't my fault,
Mm-hmm.
but it's kind of therapeutic to insert myself into these characters and
Mm-hmm.
to kind of relate to people who have been through the same situations, to let them know that there's a positive way out of this. You don't have to hold it in. You can share your truth. There's counseling. There's
Mm-hmm.
ways to get through this. Many people have suffered through many things, and that doesn't make you, specifically in this story, it doesn't make you unworthy of love. Like,
Right.
you know, and I don't think I've ever seen a story told where there was a male figure who wasn't necessarily sexually abused, but who knew an abuser. Like,
Mm-hmm.
plus, this was his cousin who was an abuser. And,
Mm-hmm.
I kind of wanted to speak to that side of it. Like, what would you do if you were a child and you knew that your older relative was doing something, hurting somebody, sexually abusing somebody? What would you do? He was 12
Mm-hmm.
years old, up to 12 years old, witnessing this. And it's just a complicated situation. Many of us say, I would have told, to make him
But
stop, but it's not that easy. It's really
no,
not that easy for some people.
it's not. Here I go. Me and my fatal attraction. Um, I was watching the fatal attraction
I,
one day this week, and the father was a minister,
mm.
and he married the mother, and she already had these two girls. Don't y'all talk about me in this scenario, but this is true. But when it all came, I'm not gonna go through the whole story, but when it all came out, when the daughter had enough,
Yeah.
she ended up pregnant by him, and she had enough, and she went to the police. The police officer, these are the real police officers that are telling you, they have the actors, but then they also have the real ones that are telling you, they said out of their mouths they didn't believe her.
Wow.
Like, the story was so far fetched, they didn't believe her. Well, actually, the neighbor took her to the church that the father was a pastor or was underneath, the head guy.
Hmm.
And I'm talking like I didn't grow up in church. I know the proper protocols. But they took her because the lady didn't know what to do. So she took her. There was a white lady on top of that, so she really didn't know what to do. Well, let's go to your church. The
Hmm.
pastor didn't believe her. Oh, I've known your father for so many years, and he would never do nothing like that.
My
He didn't
God.
believe her. Then they went to the police, and the police officers, two of them, black guy, white guy, was like, the story is so far fetched. We just don't. I mean, are you sure? Are you
Right.
sure that you weren't really enjoying this, and now that he's mad at
Wow.
you, like they literally, I mean, and then they had said that they felt bad that she was telling the truth. He said, but the story was so far fetched that
Yeah.
they didn't believe it. So just think about, I mean, when you think about it like that, you are scared to tell
Yeah.
who's going to believe, and then the person has two different sides to them. They
Yeah.
showing the family one side, but then they got this
Exactly.
devious side on the on the flip side of it. So
And this
I
happens
can
every day.
every single
Every
as a
day.
teacher, trust me, to the
My
point where
goodness.
sometimes I feel like I'm paranoid when my kids become. I'll be like,
What
why
you
you
finna
acting
tell
weird?
me?
Yeah, what
Yeah.
you finna tell me? Or why you acting weird? Or
Yeah.
especially when them little girls start talking about my mom's boyfriend, and I'll be
My
like, ooh.
goodness. My goodness.
And
Yeah.
I work. I'm not. I work in Southwest Atlanta.
My
I'm
goodness.
not out. I'm not in the outskirts of South of Atlanta, one of the bougie schools. I'm, as they say, in the trenches of it,
Yeah.
to where I can hear them cussing in the hallway, and it's like pick your battle, because like
My
I say,
goodness.
watch, they liable to cuss me out,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and then I'll be on CBS News like,
Cause you didn't pop somebody, baby, in the
girl, I
mouth.
mean, now, who that whole who you talking to? What you say? So yeah, I
Yeah.
get that. So I get it. I get that he was 12 years old, and you're right, Velda. That's why children don't say anything,
Yeah.
because she's saying it's horrible how they treated her. That's why children don't disclose immediately. They
Yeah.
don't. They don't. Not at all. So that got pretty deep right there. So Tashina became a social worker. I have to tell you, I loved her. Her
Yeah.
sassiness, I mean, for what she went through and kept it all of those years,
Yeah.
all of those years, because like she stopped Kirsten, she knew her aunt was going to
Yeah.
lose her mind. And this is somebody that lives in the neighborhood. Like, we know this family.
Yeah.
And to protect the family,
Yeah.
um, that's a heavy burden to carry.
Yeah. And she carried
That's a
it
heavy
for a
burden.
long time, trying to
A long
protect her
time.
baby.
So
Yeah.
is that why you had her become a social worker? Because she
Absolutely.
had that passion.
Yeah, she had to have some kind of outlet, carrying around a secret that huge, since 16 years old, she had to have some kind of outlet to help people, when she couldn't help herself. So
Mm-hmm.
I had to create a career for her that was an outlet because otherwise she probably would have had a nervous breakdown.
Right.
Yeah.
Um, I love the fact that she was so close to her aunt,
Oh
and
yeah.
her aunt helped her keep her mother's memory alive. I'm
Yeah.
drawing a blank. If you
Aunt
believe,
Rhonda.
did you say? Yeah, I love our
Yeah.
Rhonda. Especially her and her friend in the backyard getting
Oh,
they
Miss Pepper. Back
in
there
their
getting
garden,
high.
in the garden in the back there getting high,
Yes.
enjoying life in their senior, early senior. Um, so maybe that's what I do. Build me a garden in the backyard, but I ain't
Girl,
gonna.
go ahead.
Girl, I'd probably lose my mind. I got high one time when I was in school, and it didn't do. I don't. It didn't. I faked it. I
It
was
just
like,
didn't. You ain't got no
no. Either I
green
didn't.
thumb.
Either I didn't do it right or whatever. But I saw everybody else acting all goofy, so I started acting goofy. Just well, let me act goofy. That's what y'all doing, and I haven't tried it since. So
Yeah. That ain't the road. I ain't
that ain't the
never.
no.
No.
But I can say I never like I don't remember. I mean, I remember vividly in the girls' bathroom in high school, and
Yeah.
nothing.
It just wasn't for you.
I'm like, y'all lying. So everybody standing here faking like they out their mind and they not.
You
But
might
I've
have a
seen
high tolerance, Josh. You might you might have been a good thing that you didn't catch on to that.
right because I might need that good stuff, right?
Okay.
Be hanging out with Snoop Dogg,
Lord have
smoking with
mercy.
what he smoked.
Goodness.
So, why was she so? I mean, I get it that the cousin threatened her and told her he would kill Plus, but after years, even without telling him, why was she still so hesitant to get involved with him? Because I could see it if she was hesitant to get involved with any man. But she
Yeah.
had said that she had been in other relationships. But what was it about her hesitancy? Her why was she so hesitant to get involved? Would let her guard down with him.
I think I think after he reached superstardom, she felt like she probably had missed the opportunity, and it would have looked like something different if she approached him after he became famous. Since she severed ties that night after the situation with
Mm-hmm.
his cousin, it was like if I go back now, I'm just gonna look like a gold digger. So I'm just gonna leave that alone altogether. And she put up a wall and just didn't communicate. And also I think it would have been awkward because she was raped by his cousin and now she's raising this child. Like, how can you see this person every single day and not tell him that? Like,
I
you
think
just
right.
living a lie inside the relationship. So I think those were two major reasons why she didn't pursue him until they were damn near 40 years old, or allow him to pursue her until they were almost 40 years old.
I wrote down Plus's demeanor made him the perfect blend of sweet, mild manner and a little bit of thug.
Yeah. Yeah, he don't talk a lot. It was hard for me to write his character because most of his parts were, it wasn't a lot of dialogue. It was I just had to describe his body language and the way he looked at her or what he was thinking, because he's just one of them dudes. Like, I ain't got time for all that. My cousin called it booty chatter. I ain't got time for all that talking. He was an
And you know
action
what?
man.
I need a man that's gonna talk. Like I don't want to hold the phone and we just holding the phone.
Well, he
I don't want to write.
Plus probably wasn't gonna be on the phone with you. He's an in-person person. Like, we gonna do things together. We don't have to have. I
A
don't
whole
know.
lot
He
of.
just wasn't very conversational. Not if it wasn't about business. I mean, he expressed himself in different ways. He's just a quiet person. You know.
I, yeah, because my son's father was a comedian. He's the same way. Like I tell jokes for a living, so I don't want to talk when I'm at home. Nigga, what? That don't work for me. That's all we together. That don't work for me. Like something like
Yeah.
we just
But
should,
were
we
you the talk? Did you talk alike?
yeah. And
Cause
he would be like he would. I was young, hell, I don't know. I
yeah.
can't even because ain't shit he say funny to me right now. So, oh, I'm sorry. Damn, I'm sorry,
Dang,
y'all.
Josh.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
That
That's a
shit
side
ain't
of me.
funny no more.
Ain't nothing. I say that all the time. Ain't nothing funny. Nothing. Like, and we semi cool. We semi cool. Like he came to Atlanta and invited me to come to the show, and I took a dude with me because I know
Yeah.
the type of situation that he. And of course, he did try it, but I took somebody
Yeah.
with me for that purpose. And even then, it was like a chuckle. Like I'm.
The shit just ain't funny. When y'all
No,
don't
no.
like somebody, they really, I mean, I ain't gonna say don't like, but when you ain't feeling somebody, that shit just ain't funny. And I
It's not no.
understand that.
It's not. It's like and
You
then
ain't even
you
hearing it the same.
no, and you a half-ass parent on top of that too. I'm just nice. Like
Ooh, ooh.
I'm just nice. Like I don't call you out on your because we've been all right, and we're gonna continue to be. Even
Yeah.
at 23, we're gonna continue to be. All right. I'm sorry, y'all. I see my vainness behind me, my picture on the wall. Like, but yeah. So I get, and I also get Tashina's protectiveness over her daughter. Like,
Oh
don't
yeah.
you know? Let me
Yeah.
protect her at all. Let me leave this alone. At
Yeah.
all at all costs.
Because of what she went through, she didn't want her baby to ever have to experience nothing like that.
Right.
Yeah.
And but she went overboard.
She did. She definitely did.
She
She
went
definitely
overboard.
did.
But then too, with her going overboard, Taya had a lot of sassiness to her too.
Yeah, because that's her baby. She came
She
out
got
of a
broke her
sassy
heart
woman.
when she was like, I'm not coming to the no, not that. That before that, when she was like when Lord, and you made that full circle. Like he touched that baby.
Yeah.
And I would have loved to see the look on Tashina's face when he walked in the door. Like I'm
Yeah.
surprised that would have been a whole different story if you had let Kirsten go ahead and shoot him. Like,
Oh
oh,
man. That part I thought I wrote and rewrote that part so many times. I was like, do I kill this motherfucker because he deserves to die, or do I, but even though this one, I mean, and she is so Tashina is more like me than any other character I've ever written. And I could go on forever telling y'all how, but even after somebody did something that terrible to you and showed no remorse, has never apologized, could not give a sufficient apology, even if he tried, she still valued
his
his
life.
right to be breathing on this earth, even if it's behind bars. He doesn't
Right,
deserve to die. He needs to live and be punished for what he did. Death is too
right.
easy. So yeah, I mean, I rewrote that part. Girl, the first draft, he got shot up and Tashina spit in his face. It was just, I was like, nah, I can't do that. I can't do that. But yeah, that was a hard one to write, and I don't know. It was hard to write. When it came to me, I was like, what? Y'all want to bring him back? But the character's like, yeah, we need to see where he at and see that he still hasn't stopped doing this shit and he needs to go
Yeah,
to prison.
like you. But do
Yeah.
they ever? Well, I don't know. I'm not. I mean, Devin is a social worker major. That'd be his call. I mean, not his call, but he'd be able to tell me more because I'd be like, do they ever change? Do they ever
No. That
stop?
I don't think that can be rehabilitated.
At
I
all.
really and they
And
got this
they so many
suggestion that
times.
they be castrated, but the sickness ain't in their genitals, it's in their head. You don't need a penis to be a child molester.
And
That
then
makes
it's
no
like,
sense.
no, and then it's like, who did something to you to make you have those?
Exactly.
urges. Like we were
Exactly.
saying, generational. Something had to have happened to. I
Yeah.
ain't telling you to write his story, nothing like that. But I'm just saying, in general, something had to have happened to that person to make them just. I don't believe, which it could be.
Yeah.
With addictions. Period. There's something innate within you. Like I knew family members. Like I don't have no secrets. My daddy was passed away. My daddy was an alcoholic,
Hmm.
and he had been sober for 30 plus, years. So, and for the longest we were a dry house, like we just don't, even though he had been sober. And so in my mind, I'm always cognitive of how much alcohol I drink.
Yeah.
I've never been that, I don't know if I would ever get to that point. So I'm very cognitive,
Yeah.
you know, because you don't know. I would hope that if something was to happen to me, that I wouldn't carry that cycle on. But
Right.
something in a person's mind that makes them, you know, like, and well, we get into that in the fold when she for the hurt that goes on when take, uh, which I'm not. I finished that today. That's why I didn't get to the reread. That's why I didn't get to reread the third book because my life was so. You're right. Hurt people think it's okay and normal. When he says hurt people think it's okay and normal to hurt other people. That's
Absolutely.
that is absolutely true.
Yeah.
That is absolutely true. Yolanda said, actually, Yolanda said they need to get to the root of the cause of the issues. And I
Yeah.
think we see that. I'll go ahead and jump into that and we can jump back. I think we see that in Taya's story, as much as it was Chad's story in the fold,
Hmm.
it was just as much Taya's story
Yeah.
as well. And I think we see that when she goes and meets up with the grandmother, which, oh my
Yes.
God, like
Yeah.
deep.
Yeah. I don't know if I would have had the courage to do that, but curiosity will have you doing some crazy things, like, you
Yeah,
know, feeling like you don't know half of yourself. Obviously, you don't want to go to the prison and talk to a rapist. I mean, that
right.
was not an option for the book, and I mean, that might be an option for some people. I've considered going to prison and talking to the person who molested me, but I was just tripping because it probably wouldn't go well because I don't think he's a change. It's my brother. It's my dad's son. So, but that was my way of incorporating my feelings, as far as going to communicate with him. I was like, okay, maybe she can go and talk to his mother. Maybe going to
Mm-hmm.
prison and talking to him would be a bit much. I think that would have been a little bit hard to believe. So talking to his mother was the next best thing, and she just needed to understand why this man was the way he was, and who better to ask than his mother.
Jesus and the burden. I ain't gonna lie, you wrote the hell out of that because the
Thank
burden
you.
the mother was carrying. Come,
Oh
I can't.
God.
I don't know who's saying this. It says ass whooping and mental health. You right.
Yeah.
You right. You absolutely
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Um, but you wrote the hell out of that because
Thank you.
she was carrying a whole lot of guilt and the burden she was carrying on her shoulders. I'm gonna say on his behalf because it's
Yeah.
obviously no remorse.
None.
And like Ted said, when she walked in the house, you could feel the
Yeah.
heaviness. And then you've lost a child to this, and you still didn't do anything. So
Yeah.
unless she didn't have a strong support system either.
No.
She said you did. You wrote that scene. That's what I was gonna say. You wrote that
Thank
scene.
you.
You did. I mean, the
Thank
whole series, the whole. I don't know why I was drawn to it. So, like I said, first I was like, Sabrina just trying to sell me. You know, Josh, you gonna like this one? Tell you. I was like, this brother with the dreads on. What is plus? What?
you.
What? And then,
I wasn't playing with you, John.
of course, um, I buy the books, but I don't. I go. Then I came home and bought it for my Kindle, because I told Monica the same thing. It's like you sold me that. It was like I just be talking trash. I trust y'all. Y'all say Josh, read this one. I'm like, okay, all right.
Yeah.
I'll give you the benefit of the doubt.
You be thinking
But
we bullcorning the whole time.
no, that's the people that be in my that be emailing me like, I didn't get oh okay. I mean, I'm not getting ready to endorse it until I read it, you
Yeah,
know. So, but yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Okay, so let's go lighter. Let's go.
yeah.
Let's yeah, because we've been deep
Cause
for
I
a
be
minute.
making people cry in these books. They be complaining. I'm sorry,
Girl,
y'all.
like I had tears. I've had tears in this whole series. I've had some tears. So I was happy when she finally he wasn't gonna give up. I love the fact that he wasn't gonna give up.
Yeah,
I mean, there were times when he was like, I mean, I think that's what all of us. Man,
yeah,
man, I'm out. And then you get
yeah.
halfway, like, but I still like him. I still want him.
I can't help myself.
I still want you. So,
Yeah,
for him to, okay, I still got to get deep for a minute because to load his mother, I ain't gonna lie. I felt bad when he found out that Oakley Rose was his baby, but then I love the fact that they both admitted that it was just a.
yeah.
Y'all, if you
Smashing
haven't
dad.
read, y'all have plenty of time to read this book. So Sabrina will have you all over the place in this book.
I try not to, but
Highs and
it be
lows.
happening.
You can't help it. But I like the fact that they both admitted that it was just, I'm attracted to you, you're attracted to me. And the fact that he liked thick chicks, that was I think maybe that's
Yes,
why I love
Lord.
him
Yes,
even more,
Lord. That's
And then,
mandatory.
right. And then
If
he
I
a
was
light
gonna write a
brown.
rapper, he was gonna have to be with a big girl. I'm sorry.
Right. I like that. I love that.
Yeah,
So I wasn't tripping so much off the fact that, oh, he got a baby. And I love the fact that he still, even though his father was in jail when we first met him and everything, but then that his father got himself together and was able to go to him and be able to talk to him with
with no
um,
reservations.
no reservation, led on the line, and his father like, oh, I'm a grandfather. Okay, cool. Like that
Yeah.
ain't your typical response, but then again, him being a rapper and in the business,
Yeah.
he probably was like, I'm surprised it hasn't happened
Earlier.
before.
Yeah.
Yeah, before now. And I like that once he was able to tell Tashina the truth, he didn't. I think that's what I loved about him too. He wasn't one of the people. Let me hold this secret. Let me
Right.
just get this all out. Tell you what the deal is and how you deal with it is
It's
how
on
you deal
you.
with it.
Yeah.
Right? It's how it's on you. Now, the mama getting high and spilling beans.
Oh, that
I would have
lady.
had to put hands on her.
That lady.
So I said, don't talk about his mother.
Oh, that lady. Oh, that lady. She was something else. And she had
Like
she had her issues. She been through shit. So, I
because
try to write imperfect people, try to be honest.
right, because it's like you've been sober for a whole year, and I have
Yeah,
family members like that. That's
yeah.
like you went a whole year and you was around one person that let them. I say
It
you
was
let
that
them.
simple. It was that simple.
That's
Because
that
that's
simple.
being an addict. You always gonna want it. You don't just get clean and don't want it no more. You have every day you have to wake up and intentionally say, I'm not going to do this. Even though I want to, more than I want to breathe, I want to go and hit this pipe, but I
Mm-hmm.
can't because it's not conducive to my growth. That can you imagine having to do that every day? Wait, I cannot imagine waking up and saying no to snacks every single day.
Oh,
Every
you telling
day, I can't never have a snack again. Oh my
again,
god, that's what.
again? Devin said something the other day about vegan, and I was like, go somewhere.
Go on with that negative energy.
Man, you telling me I can't never have a no, no,
Oh
no, not
god,
me, not me. And my vice, I ain't gonna lie, my vice for since we've been on this pandemic has been French fries. Luckily, I ain't I,
man,
I ain't gained 4 pounds, but of my
girl,
already gainness. But
you
French fries.
silly.
That's it. Like I won't eat. I won't if I just go downstairs because they be gone. and my
Yeah.
lunch is just some French fries.
Yeah.
It ain't like I don't pick the burger to go with it or anything
Just
else.
French
It's
fries.
just the French fries, and I just sit and I watch Fatal Attraction and eat my French fries.
And that's your business, like Tabitha Brown say.
That's, and that's my business. Right, right. So you're right, Monique. Plus loved his mother
Yeah.
to a fault, and
Yeah.
did it until that moment. Yeah, until he had to just because she still had no remorse.
Right. Just
She
out
had no.
there opening her big mouth.
Even when they went to the,
Out to
she
the
had no.
rehab center. Yeah.
To see her, like,
Yeah.
but like you said, she had deeper issues. So,
She
and
did.
she really was treated more like her man than her son.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, more like her man than her son. Of you gonna take care of me, you gonna leave me, and the pressure
Yeah.
that she was putting on him. Even you gonna come to my event and all of
Yeah.
that. That's a
Trying to
lot.
make him
Go ahead.
trying to make him choose, and you can't do that. You can't do that.
No.
You're gonna lose in that situation most of the time.
So you gave these people triplets, Sabrina.
Oh man, I had to.
You ain't just give them twins.
I
You
had
gave them
to. I had
triplets.
to because they was getting it in. That wasn't no that wasn't no
I know.
single embryo sex they was having. They was
And then for her to be talking about
trying it
Seth and
off.
Fallon, the way she was like digging at Seth and Fallon, like they in a closet somewhere, they always getting it in.
Yeah,
Like y'all
yeah.
are too. Y'all just as bad
Exactly.
as they
Y'all
are. Just as bad as they are. Now I know I was gonna ask you too about and I'm a big girl, so I can say this big bitch Mona. Like, girl, Mona, like you was a straight hater. Like
big
you
time.
like you tried to get him, in the first interview. Okay, so where did Boom Central come from? I love that name.
I had to. It's like the BET in my books. I had to incorporate some type of entertainment blog so that they can, so y'all could keep up with the gossip or whatever. And then the radio. Did I have no? The radio station didn't come into the fold, but
Right. I got
yeah,
that in my
Boom
notes
Central
too.
was just like a gossip blog, and Mona Chase, she wanted plus, and it was rumors that they had messed around, but they never had. Even though he liked big women, he never did go for Mona Chase because she was messy.
I was just going to
She
say
talked too
he don't like
much.
it. Yeah,
Yeah, he
tell
don't like
guess he don't
all
like
that. People in
he
his
don't like
business and all that. He don't like all that.
right.
But
And
yeah,
then
she
you
was
had
a
the
mess.
audacity
What
to
I
come
do?
to his event,
Yeah, yeah.
girl.
Like, come on now.
And then
Like he
split
ain't gonna put you in your place.
put hands on you. So I may have to circle back around to plus because I want to get to the fold because I don't want to, Um,
Okay.
but okay, so let's jump into the fold real quick. And if y'all got some questions, we can circle back around. You can go ahead and throw your questions in there. Hey Vet. So Jada. First of all, first of all, um, I love the siblings, and I'm
That's my
basically
girl.
I have a older brother, but we didn't grow up together. So when I say I'm an only child, that's why I say I'm an only child.
Okay.
I do have, like I said, we didn't grow up together, and we're not, we hey, how you doing? A call here and there, see each other every now and then, but we're
Okay.
not close. So I didn't but I never, as an only child, I was never really an only child. I was always with my cousins, and I had friends. So I was never that child like, oh, I want a brother or sister. No, I am
Yeah.
that.
I don't need
No,
that.
it's not until now as an adult that, after losing my dad, and it's like, dang, something happened to my mom, and it's just me. I don't have anybody to. I mean, I do, but like a sibling to lean
Right.
on. It's now,
Right.
but growing up, it was never like, oh, I want brothers and sisters.
You
Never,
ain't
because
care
I was
about that.
never. Nah, I get out, and I always had my cousins. We grew up. We literally grew up together.
Yeah.
My TK still in cousin. We literally, grew up together. She was always with me. So I
That's the
never
type of
felt
relationship cousins had back in the days. Y'all was basically siblings. That's how it was.
yes. And even though
Mhm.
she's in California, still in California, and I'm here in Georgia, we talk every day. We FaceTime every day. And if I don't answer, like if she was to call right now and I don't answer, she's going to call Devin and be like, "Where your mama? Why you ain't answering
Stop
your
playing
mama?"
with her.
Yeah, yeah, her. But the siblings, I love Jada, Chad, and Angela. I mean, I love their. They sitting in church clowning each other
That's what they do.
like there's no holds bar,
Yeah.
Chadwick, and you be like, oh,
Broomhilda.
right, right. I got somebody that says, at work, she be like Marks, and I just be like, this bitch don't go on somewhere. So I get it. I mean, like you can hear the way,
Yeah.
like I'm gonna bug you until you give me, what I want. So
Yeah.
let's start off with Jada and her and being a preacher's kid and having the
Yeah.
job that she had.
Yeah.
The TTP morning show. Where did that come from?
We have a radio show down here in Houston called the well, it was the Mad Hatter Morning Show, but now it's totally different. It's for them young kids won't listen to that shit no more. I'm too old for it now. But yeah, I'm still pissed about it. Um yeah, and it just they have personalities on there that are so funny. Like I listen to the radio just to hear them talk because in the morning it's not a lot of music. Now it's Ricky
Right.
Smiley. We
Okay.
I'm That's more my age bracket, but um that's where it came from. I modeled it after those
Okay.
folks.
Well, they vibe really well together.
Yeah.
That and okay. So we start off with Drew showing up at church
Oh,
with
oh,
homegirl.
Drew. Yeah.
Like you didn't know you was going to church.
Yeah.
Like you didn't.
She was
She
with
didn't.
him,
She
it's
didn't
like,
jump in the car. You didn't know you was going to your ex's
yeah.
church.
That was a little shady when I think about it. Drew was it was kind of shady for that, but she wasn't, she wasn't fooling with him. Jada wouldn't. They ain't even have each other's number at that point. But it was kind of shady for him to bring what's that girl
Especially for
name?
some.
Correct. Damn, I forgot.
I don't know. Jada called her.
Carrie.
Okay,
Yeah, that was kind of messy.
Sabrina.
Mm-hmm.
Where are you coming up with these names?
Carrie Eesh. It be late, Josh. I write a lot after 3 o'clock in the morning. It be late. She just be like, name her this. A lot of times, like the extra characters that ain't really getting no storyline, I named them something that I would not use for a main character. Like I would not, I don't think I would write a story for a Carriante. I really don't. I mean, it could happen, but I usually I call them throwaway names because I don't think I would write a story. I mean, damn, if there's somebody here named Carriante, I'm sorry, I love your name, but I I don't think that I would write a story on a character. And those names usually come like that. But Chadwick, I think I saw that on a news feed or something like that. I was like, that'd be a nice name for an older
Oh,
man, and he could saw his son Chad.
we know Chadwick Boseman, so I mean that's not.
You know what? Thank you, thank you. That
Yeah,
must have been the name I saw on the
yeah,
news
we
feed.
know it's Chadwick Boseman, so
Yeah,
that was all. That's all good.
yeah.
Um, so what prompted you to write their story?
The
And
okay,
I'm
so
gonna ask you a question about a particular scene in their story.
okay, the okay, everybody. I think y'all all know this because I curse so much on Facebook when I'm writing stuff. But I was not raised traditionally Christian. Like I've never gone to church with both of my parents at the same. Well, I've never gone to church with my parents if it wasn't for a funeral. Like my mom and daddy was not church going people. They knew the Lord. We loved the Lord. We prayed over dinner. Said bedtime prayers. But I was not reared in the church. So the side of Christians that I saw was outside of the church. So I mostly saw their imperfections, not them in the church trying to impress the elders and not swearing and vowing abstinence until they were married. I saw the freaks. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
I saw the other side. And so I wanted to give a perspective of PKs, preachers' kids, from outside the tabernacle. I wanted people to see that they're human. You know what I'm saying? They're just like us. They make mistakes. They know the Lord. They love the Lord, but they still flawed, just like the rest of us. And that's pretty much why I wrote it. I wanted to write something fun, something light, and the fold kids gave me that.
Um. Okay. So Jada and Drew, what drew that particular connection?
um, I had to. I felt like the middle child would be a good start to the series, and their love story, that friends to lovers to enemies. I just
Mhm.
like that trope, because there's a lot of push and pull, getting to the meat of the story. Why did they even break up? Why so many years? And then them coming to an understanding that they both misunderstood each other and that they could have been together this whole time, and finding the journey back to each other. Even though that story was the shortest of the series, I felt like it was a pretty balanced journey from them
Oh,
finding their way
it
back
definitely
to each other.
it definitely was, and especially when he basically couldn't commit to nobody else. Like,
Right.
oh, girl wanted more, but he was
He
upfront
didn't
and told you it wasn't gonna ever be no more than this.
then what it was.
Just because I brought you home, my
Yeah.
grandmama don't like you.
And that means a lot.
Right, my grandmama
Yeah.
don't like you. So, you really thought you was gonna change? I mean, I can like you all I want, but if my family don't
Yeah.
like you,
Yeah.
it's
It's
a
just
wrap.
gonna
It
be an
ain't gonna
awkward life for you. And I wouldn't put you through that.
at
Yeah.
all, at all, at all. So, grandma cracks me up. Can't make nothing but
It's
sandwiches.
awful.
That is hilarious.
That's it. She can't cook. I love the thought of making a grandmother who can't cook, because everybody's grandma can cook. But Miss Opal
Every
just ain't down with it. She got other shit to
um,
do. She
and the
she
fact
ain't
that you
gonna be cooking.
introduced her in plus, and she gave them,
Yeah,
they came to her ranch to horseback riding, and that's what she
yes.
served them was a sandwich.
Yeah, that's what she do. That's all I got is some sandwiches. That's what Miss Opal. But they be good though. They ain't just
Right,
no regular sandwiches. They be good.
right, right. I got that. I got that. I was gonna say that I like the fact that because I grew up in church all my life.
Mhm.
Pretty much, my grandmother um was at her church. Like it was the temple in Detroit, Michigan. She was the minister of music forever. She was the president of the women's group forever. Um,
Man,
yes, until she passed away. Like seriously.
wow.
Um, like her service was so long, it was like, even though that's my grandmother, I was like, go
Please.
over yet, and I loved her. I lived with her for a year and a half while my mother was getting herself together in California. So it wasn't like we wasn't close. I was close to my grandmother, but
Yeah.
so I grew up in the church. I understand the good, the bad. I understand old traditions and
Hmm.
newer traditions and what is biblical, and like y'all was making up stuff. My grandma used to tell me, my aunt would be like, they going ice skating. Well, I want to go. Safe to put on ice skating. As a kid, you like, well, I guess I ain't never gonna be safe
I
because I
ain't
want to
never.
go ice skating. I want to go swimming. All of that. So I get it. I get
Oh,
it, and
bless your heart.
but what I was gonna say was, in when most PK kids are kind of forced to follow in their parents' footsteps. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
In some capacity, you're gonna work at this church. You're
yeah,
gonna be the next pastor. That type of thing. So I like the fact that their father, as spiritual as he was, and I love their
yeah.
father. I love a
I,
minister that can give the word and be funny. The church I go to now, that bishop is like that, and
Yeah.
sometimes you got to pull out a dictionary to understand. Understand. You know how Eric Jerome Dickey has elevated, and you like, I need a
Yeah.
dictionary to read an Eric J.D. book. That's bishop sometimes, and that's a running joke with other pastors coming to our church. Like, well, I ain't gonna get up here and talk like your bishop be talking, but I mean, but he's down to earth as well. So I like the fact that um he was a down to earth. He could give the word and keep his members' attention to. It wasn't a boring church
Right.
for it to be somewhat of a traditional church, but also the fact that they all had non-traditional careers as
Yeah.
PK kids.
Yeah.
Jada is a radio personality DJ.
Yeah.
Chad is a
Tattoo artist.
tattoo artist, right?
Knowing he ain't got no business marking up that vessel. He marking up
Right,
everybody's vessel.
right. The fact that the mama and the daddy held, after they saw that that was his career choice, that
Yeah.
they supported him. Yeah, as Chad said, they gave him money to start up his business. And
Yeah.
even Angela, even though her business was um
Yeah. She
the
had like a health and wellness massage parlor. Yeah.
right, all of that, those are not traditional PK kids,
No,
you
they're
know.
not.
No,
No,
they
they're
ain't
not.
walking around like Sarah Jackson. I have nothing against Sarah Jackson. I can listen to Sarah Jackson. I'm just saying, but like that, and even the church I grew up in, like, oh, I almost said his name. You, you're repeating your daddy. You have a calling in life, so you need to be doing what you want to do, type deal.
Yeah.
But anyway, I like that about them. Then you threw in. I mean, we're just gonna talk about the fold all together. I can't break it all up in detail.
Yeah.
Then you threw in the fact the mama was holding that's she was holding that for so long.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it came out in Chad's story that he didn't, I don't think he knew that, but he knew
Right.
she wasn't, like he said it, she wasn't, I
She
basically
wasn't
I held her
happy.
back.
Yeah. Yeah, it was, certain things are in your eyes. Like you can look at your child and see that something is wrong. And I think the same is true for our children. They can look at us and tell. They might not know exactly what it is, but I've had my son walk up to me and ask me if I'm okay. And I had literally just been crying about, like my uncle passed away or something like that, and thinking that I'm holding it together, but children can see. And I think Chad saw that his mama, her eyes didn't light up. I think that's how I worded it.
Yeah,
Her eyes didn't light up
he would
around
walk
their
into a room and
father.
it wasn't,
Yeah.
yeah,
So he knew
yeah.
that something was wrong, but he didn't know specifically that she was a lesbian. And it's that's a tough one to tackle. Married to a pastor and you gay, like, sis, what you doing?
But she was
But
spiritual.
she
She had
was
a spiritual,
spiritual. She
she had a
loved the
prayer
Lord.
closet of the Lord. She saw things they knew. I mean, out of all of the characters, of course, you already, well, I don't know if you know, my least favorite was Angela because, like, she
Oh,
held this grudge. Well, I mean,
yeah.
I grew to love her after, I mean, like her after, I ain't gonna say love her, after I read her story. I grew to be
Yeah.
like, okay, like, she was stuck on, and Monique said, Senior knew his children were off the hook. You're
Yes,
right.
Lord.
I mean, Angela was about appearances, obviously,
Yeah.
for a lot of reasons. Okay, before
Yeah.
I get into Angela, because I'm gonna forget, and I'm gonna get off of here, and I'll be like, God damn it, Josh, you didn't say when Jada took old boy in the bathroom.
Oh. Oh, that was so, I could not wait to get to that part. I could
I
not
laughed
wait.
so
Oh, I
hard.
couldn't wait. Cause he was a low down,
Dirty, like,
dirty piece of shit.
dude.
Don't you think? And then his horny ass followed her to the restroom. Went to the restroom thinking something was for you. Got the nerve in this church to think that after I done seen you with your wife, I'm finna give you some in the bathroom. Oh, I couldn't wait to write that part.
She took his
Her daddy
phone.
was hot, but I was laughing the whole time I wrote that shit. I was dying.
She took his phone. I was like, oh my God. He just threw him in the trash, right?
Sure
He just,
did. Left him in there butt naked. Deal with that, devil. Deal with that with your sorry
I
ass.
can't. I swear, I can't. I can't.
Yes.
Do nothing, but when I read your stuff, I be like, Sabrina is crazy as hell. That's okay. I know your folks know who your people. They know you crazy.
They are 100% aware, and it's their
So
fault. So that's why they don't say
can
nothing.
you see, like those of us who grew up in a church like the temple, can you just imagine?
Girl,
Period. Like
y'all heard what this fool did?
he left his nasty ass naked in the church
Yes, Monique.
bathroom. I was like, get it. Like
Oh, and he was
that's something,
ready too. He just knew he was finna get it in.
bro. You got it in all right.
Yes,
You
he
sure
did.
enough got it in
Now you
all
gotta
right.
explain to your wife why you in the ladies' room buck naked. Your whole life is jacked up right now.
Right. Right.
Ethel
Yes,
is
I
Ethel is actually my cousin. Ethel Powell. She been knowing I was crazy since she was little. I'm older than her, but we grew up across the grass from each other, so she know.
she said we gonna love her forever. I know that's right. I would have been dead too, Monique. I would have just been like, Lord, and I would have been just like Jay. Well, I'm just gonna sit here and take it. Daddy mad at me.
Yeah.
You just don't know. You don't know what he,
Yes.
what he
Yes.
did to me. Horrible, horrible, horrible. So, okay,
Oh,
I could stop jumping all around because the stuff be coming in my head, and I did write my notes. Matter of fact,
look at you being all professional.
I be trying. I be trying. I'm sorry, if somebody trying to get in, I can't. I can't multitask, and then maybe if one of my admins can see, um, if somebody is trying to get in the be in the group, that's cool. If they still in here, um, of course I can't find my notes. Y'all, I promise you, I'm not slow, and I got my and I don't see. Oh, there it is, my notes app. Okay. Um, I knew something was going on with Bree. And how you say his name? Is it say his name, Sabrina?
Who
Sabri?
is it?
Sabri?
Saber?
Bree? Saber.
Saber. Yeah.
Okay. I knew something was going on with the two of them. I
Oh, and
knew
I'm
it.
trying to write their story, y'all, but they
That's one of my questions. Is there going to
oh,
be a story? No, my first question was, will Bree get her own story?
and I hate oh god. With these sub characters, I swear when I write these sub characters, I do not be meaning for y'all to like them. They there so that the main characters can have a wholeness about them, that they not one dimensional. They got family, they got friends, and then y'all wind up falling in love with these sub characters. And instead of me moving on to the next project, I gotta figure out if these sub characters gonna ever talk to me or not. It's so
Here's
stressful.
the time.
Bree and Saber are talking to me, but
Okay.
they keep changing what they want me to say. Like I don't know. Um, I'm not sure what to do with their story because what y'all think y'all saw is not what y'all saw. What y'all with him being in her room, it's not what you think. That's what they telling me. It's not what you think, and what it actually is way deeper. Because my story, my characters always want to go deep and make people cry and
And I
make
can
people
see that
empathize.
because I can see that because there's something he said. See, I pick up on a lot of stuff. I think because I don't want to say because I'm in a book club, but because one of the things we do in my book club is because when I did petals and I
Hmm.
shared with you things that I gave away for in petals,
Hmm.
and I always find the stuff that's not normal.
Right.
I did a LB book, and one of the gifts was a green ink pen. I bet you some of you people who read LB don't even remember. He liked green ink pens because it represented money.
Yeah.
Um, he ate great annihilators.
Yeah.
I went on the hunt finding great annihilators. And when they was pulling the stuff out the bag, they was like, I was like, he ate grape annihilators. She said that was one of the things they was having an intimate conversation. So I
Yeah.
look at my typical gifts. It's not gonna always be something that you think. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So I pick up on a little things because there's something that he says leading up to about his family, or it's not what something he says, and it's like, oh, he got some stuff with him. And
Yeah.
so
They
the
both do.
obvious stuff with the obvious stuff with Bree,
Yeah.
um, her mama, her issues with her sister,
Yeah.
because I had to laugh at Bree when she's, and I wrote it down. I promise you, I wrote it down. Bree
She
said
is a
something about
character, man.
Bree said something about she had to laugh. I wrote I had to laugh at her mama not wanting the mailman because I don't date short men. I
Yeah.
and I get told all the
Ain't
time,
gonna
you
do
keep
it.
turning around your blessing. I don't date short. I don't want short men. I don't.
Dang, Josh, you might be missing out.
Don't start. Don't. I've heard that in so many of our book club meetings. Don't.
They good
I
climbers, man. You gotta.
No, no. I wanna, because even if we the same height, even though my back doesn't allow me to wear heels anymore, so I might give you a chance to be the same height. But if we was the same height and I put on some heels, no, no,
Oh,
no. And I'm gonna tell you the truth. I've tried it.
it
I've
didn't
tried it.
work.
I'm 5'9". My child is 6'3", 6'4". How we look
Oh,
walking around with somebody 5'7"?
that's the thing. You can't be walking around. You gotta stay horizontal. What's that? You want more sip?
Ah, hilarious. Oh,
Y'all
okay.
gonna get this in the bricky box, by the way. I'm trying to show y'all what y'all gonna get. Preview.
Ooh.
Damn, I can't turn it
Okay. All
right.
right, Darius. There you
It
go.
say nasty, nasty B word.
Okay. Um.
But yeah.
So I was gonna. This is in my notes too. No, there's something else that's in my notes that is hilariously funny. That you describe somebody being black as 11. Saber. You described that man being black at 11:59,
He
and I
black.
was like, "What in the entire hell is
He
black
black.
as 11?"
Ain't no moon, ain't no sun. He is black. Right before midnight black. You know how black that is. Can't
That's
see
that
shit.
beautiful. That's that beautiful. You just like, damn. Like
It
there's nothing.
mesmerized.
Yeah, there's nothing ugly about that at
Nothing at all.
all.
Nothing at
Nothing
all.
at all. But I had to laugh at that. I was like, here goes Sabrina. Here she go. Here she go. Okay, I had that in my notes. And then I also had in my notes, and I'm probably gonna catch some flack
Uh-oh.
on this. Chad, let me say this first. Chadwick should not have left.
No, he
Um,
shouldn't have.
he should not have left. However, I'm always for the underdog to a degree.
Yeah.
Taya Cox, like, with so much going on, and them taking her phone, and he was there when it first popped off, and when she ran up the stairs, and they was all in Jock's face and everything. But she never went back to see if he was all right or let
Right.
him know that she was okay. So
Yeah.
he's in this situation where he's like, Jock is an asshole. I've only seen the negative of Jock.
Yeah.
And now I got Plus telling me I believe him. I got Saber telling me he don't rock like that. But how y'all just to me, y'all just defending them. And
Yeah.
plus, I'm looking at my phone and she's not saying anything. She hasn't said anything to me. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So we talking, if I'm reading it right, a whole day of no communication from her.
Yeah.
And he
Yeah.
wants to just be cool with that. Now, he could have went and knocked on the door and been like, okay, tell her I'm leaving. I'm out.
Yeah.
I get that. But
Yeah.
Tay wasn't completely innocent.
Yeah. And and
She had a
and
whole
gr-
lot going
and keep in mind they're young. So dealing with this type of stuff, young people these days are limited with social skills. I'm gonna just be honest. They limited. Like face-to-face conversations rarely ever happen unless they getting ready to go do something,
So first instinct is
texting
to
and
run.
tweeting and all that. Their social skills are dwindling. So I had to be true to the age bracket, because if I'm writing for somebody my age and they did that shit, it'd be like, look, you too old for that shit. You know how to
Right.
communicate. You was born in 1980. You know how to have a conversation face to face. Stop playing with me. but but these youngsters, that's a lot of them communicate like that. Like, fuck it, I'm just gonna leave. You know what I'm saying? I ain't dealing with this. She ain't talking to me.
Then
I'm
I
just
wrote a
gonna leave.
note,
Yeah.
but I left you a note.
I left you a note because
No,
I can't say it in your face because I'm a millennial and I don't know how to communicate. So I'm just gonna throw a tantrum and fly back home. And that's, to me, that's what I see young people doing. But luckily, you know,
they worked it out.
they worked it out.
I get it. He needed to. Well, I don't get it, but the fact that he
Yeah.
went straight to his dad, and that's when they were able to have their heart to heart conversation. I felt for him when he had his conversation with his mom, and I'm gonna tell you, I love little kids in stories to a degree,
Yeah.
and I love little Miss
Oh,
Kitty.
Boogie.
I loved her like
Yeah.
with her little grown self, and Angela gonna put headphones on that baby. Like, no, put these headphones on so you can't hear this conversation. Girl, child can run. When she said, you're gonna die, and she was like, who's gonna die? Good. That's right. That's right. Let your mama know
Smart.
you ain't crazy.
Smart
Smart.
as a
Smart.
whip.
Smart. I loved it. I loved it.
Oh yeah.
Um, and speaking of Angela's story, girl, like you living a whole lie with your husband?
Girl. And did you see who she was married to? Did y'all catch that?
No.
If you read Naughty and Nasty, well, Naughty, Big Nose Daryl, the dude that Nedra, the lead in Naughty, she was dating a guy named Daryl. He had a big nose, and the family was giving her hell about being with somebody so unattractive and putting up with his shit and all that. But he was married. Nedra found out that he was married. If you go back and read Naughty, Nedra
I
found
feel
out that
like
he was married
I
and
must get it
pregnant.
because I'm pretty good at keeping I'm pretty good at keeping up with stuff. So maybe I didn't read.
Yeah, they're a good ways apart. So if you didn't make the connections, it's understandable. But I needed to bring Daryl back because he was a piece of shit, and I like to highlight pieces of shit in stories for some reason. But yeah, she
So
was
he
the
was
girl that
still
was
he was
pregnant
still
and that
like
he was married to, and he was still being a piece of shit.
okay.
But
Okay.
yeah, Angela
Yeah,
was,
well,
was faking a whole life, man.
a whole life.
She was
A
faking a
whole
whole
life. Like,
yeah,
girl, like, that's what made me say, like I said, when I once I read her story, and it was like, okay, this is all about appearances. Like this is
hmm
for her, it's all about the appearance. So her mother, it wasn't even so much that her mother, to me, was a lesbian. Her mother broke the appearance of the perfect church family
yes,
life. Even though the kids is out doing what they want to do, and
yes,
you have a spiritual, I say she has a spiritual, a gift. She has the mama has definitely has a gift,
yes,
but the appearance that you broke up the appearance, not as far. I
yes,
mean, you to not talk to your mama for 2 years, but you still
right,
showed that you still loved her because you let your baby go and spend time with her. So it
right,
wasn't that you were scared or you had an issue with her being a lesbian. Because if you had an issue with her being a lesbian, you would not have let your child go and spend time with her
exactly,
grandmother. You had an
exactly,
issue with the fact that the perfect family dynamic was broken up.
yes,
Is what you had an issue with, and I just found that so interesting. And then you
yeah.
gave homeboy be he was a well, he wasn't a social worker. He was a
Briscoe was a probation officer.
probation. Same
Yeah,
thing, all in the
yeah,
same
it's all
deal.
social work. And he also
Also,
organized like a black market. I'm trying to remember what name I gave to that market, but his character was based off a real person that organizes a he organizes a black market in Houston monthly. I think his name is J.O. Malone or something like that. Very handsome, very upstanding young man who's doing great things for the community in Houston. And I wanted to base a character off of him because
Okay.
he is doing his thing. A family man, married, one baby and one on the way. Just the epitome of what, little black boys should look up to, in my opinion. I've only met him once. I went to one of the black markets and I was just impressed that he could keep this huge event flowing, so well every I think they do it once a month and it's just nothing but black people. Like it smells like cocoa butter in there and it's just it's so beautiful. I was like, I gotta put this shit in a book. I just felt so good from the time live music. It was amazing. I was like, yeah, I'm putting this dude in a book.
Well, I
But
liked his character. I liked his
yeah.
character. I liked the fact that his daddy had that I don't call it restaurant slash
Oh,
bar,
that the Sugar Shack.
the sugar shack. Um, his uncle,
Oh my goodness.
security slash take the money at the door.
Yes. He doing it all. He doing it
Got it
all.
all going on.
Yes.
That Sister Bibbage, is that how you say her name?
Yes, that's her.
Sister Bibbage over there front, like she making them greens and going to her sister and getting the dinner. Like somebody
Full
said it
of
was called
shit.
you made it the ABE market.
Yeah, yeah, all black everything. That's right. That's right.
I
See, y'all
mean,
do be paying attention to the little details. Thank y'all, because once I write that shit, it be like diarrhea out of my
gone,
brain. I can't catch it again.
yeah. Um, yes, I agree. I agree. They said Monique said Briscoe was the one to calm Angela down.
Yes,
Very
and
much
she
so.
needed that.
Very much so.
She needed that.
I didn't like. I could tell from Jump Street I wasn't gonna like his baby mama.
Yeah.
From Jump Street, but then I was like, here's Sabrina ass go again, tugging at somebody's heartstrings. Here she go again.
I'm
Then
sorry.
got the girl sick.
Yeah. Not just
Um,
sick, but terminally ill.
terminally ill.
I
She
had to
gonna
I had to go
die.
that far with it to get y'all to like this girl a little bit.
Because at first we wasn't feeling her. Like
Nah.
you done left your baby and here he go, he like, I don't, no, you can't stay with me. No,
Nah,
hell
hell
no,
nah.
hell no. Get on
Where
with
that
all of
where
that.
that dude you ran off with? Where he at? Go stay with his ass. Yeah.
Right. Go around, take the train, the bus, however you come out, get on back over there where you came from. Where you came from.
Yeah.
But and see that makes it hard too. And now I gotta tell this chick, well, she ain't we ain't together. But
Right.
and us being, and I ain't gonna lie, I've been there. He just here. We ain't together. Niggas
Yeah.
like, and I had to,
Oh,
because there was a time when he'd be like, you lying. But then when I was in it, when I was like living it, like, we're not together. He's just
yeah.
here. He's sickly. And now when I think about it, when I think back on it, like telling somebody that, yeah,
Yeah.
he's sickly and he can't travel. A nigga could do whatever he wanted to. Because me and my mother had this joke, like he's supposed to leave, he gets sick and end up in the hospital.
All
What the
of a
hell is
sudden.
that? Like you supposed to bus. Your mama didn't send the money for you to go. And they would his family would not send him money to get on a plane and go. She would send bus fare, right?
Yeah.
And every time he's supposed to be, getting on a bus, going and he would end up in the hospital. And it would be like, I'm gonna be stuck with this shit for the
Seriously.
rest of my life. I'm stuck. I'm stuck. I should listen. Never, never. If I told you what I had to do to get that dude to leave,
Oh my God. Bless your heart.
I think think that's probably why my tolerance for BS right now with a
Yeah.
dude is like, I don't have it in me. He took it all. He took all of the patience I had. He took it all. I don't have it in me. I don't have it in me at all. But
Who is that talking about that starstruck? Stop playing like that.
I'm just starstruck. Who is that? Mia. Somebody named Mia.
Mia, quit
Kisses.
playing. Quit playing. I work 40 hours a week just like everybody else. Get out of here with that. And Poopy,
Yes.
I'm sorry, Ethel, if you want this glass, I think you got a bricky box. Did you get a bricky box for July? You got a glass in your box, honey. It should be there tomorrow.
I didn't get one. No, you said July. I didn't do one because I already have Plus's book. That's the only reason why I didn't.
We got the diet bricky box. If you already have the book, you can just order the swag. It's like $10 cheaper. And the
What's that
website is
diet?
still up. It's a
What type
diet
of?
box. I call it a diet box because that's just how my mind works. Take the book out and you took some
Oh,
calories out. So it's a diet box. It just got the
she.
swag minus the book if you already have a signed paperback.
Oh, okay, okay. Because I was like, I already have that, but
Oh,
it's
she said,
all good.
yeah.
So, what made you make Angela so? I want to start off and say difficult in the beginning. She just seems so like difficult throughout the whole
Yeah.
series.
I think I had to be honest with the situation. Like the other two, well, Chad wasn't all the way on board with his, mother's decision, but he was somewhere in the middle. I had to have three levels of forgiveness, I think.
Okay,
Um, Jada was all the way with it because she was buck wild, mama, do your thing, that's messed up, but you gotta live your truth, girl. Do your thing. And I'm still gonna be there for you. Chad was like, damn, mama, a boy, just being a
hmm
boy. Fuck, you gotta, damn, damn, my mama, you know what I'm saying? The youngest, like my sons would probably be, hey, mama, for real, you don't leave daddy for a girl, what the fuck? But so Angela being the oldest and the one who has been exposed to this lifestyle the longest, with her father being a pastor, knowing all the rules, having the proper etiquette of being, the perfect little angel and doing everything that the congregation probably thought you should do because they all look up
hmm
to you. She had to be a little different. She had to be a little more guarded and, trying to put on this facade of perfection. One of them had to do that. And I knew it was going to be Angela, and that's why I saved her story for last because I knew she was going to be the character that people liked the least because she was
hmm
kind of uptight. And so I had to unwind her throughout the series. And once it got to her story, it was like, okay, I got to build a strong male character because this woman is something else. She going to need somebody to put her in her place because
Exactly.
she's a control freak. She wants to control the way that everything looks, the way that everybody sees her. So she needed a man that said, I don't give a fuck about none of that. You know what I'm saying? I
Right.
want you and I'm not concerned with none of that. You gonna be yourself or we ain't gonna be together. Cause I'm
Right.
not dealing with that. I'm not putting on no, I'm not
No
gonna be no
show,
fight
no
with
fun.
nobody.
Right.
Yeah. All I can be is Briscoe. And if you can't be Angela, then we can't be Briscoe and Angela.
And then it's all, I don't want to say she did a 180 because she was still herself. She was still Angela,
Yeah.
but to be able to, yeah, she ended up being very relatable. And
Yes.
she actually has she had a little more patience than it probably would I would have to be dealing even with compassion
Yeah.
to take on um the baby mama. I forgot her
Yes.
name. Sorry.
Yes. I forgot
To
as
be able
well.
to be able to but to be there for her and help her and get her, just to be there for her, period. This
Right.
my man, and then knowing that you said, like you said, she had this terminal illness and she was gonna be leaving, and how much she needed to get so much stuff off of her to be
Yeah.
able to deal with all of that. So it definitely showed you a different um a different side of her, a different
Yeah.
side of her. So I said, I love how Chad took care of Boogie. I know he was the best uncle in the absolute world.
Yeah,
He
I
was the
couldn't
best
wait for
uncle.
y'all to find that out about him because seeing how close Boogie was to him, I was like, I can't wait until they can understand why there's this closeness, because we don't address postpartum depression like a lot in the
Mm-hmm.
Black community. We think it's us. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and that can childbirth isn't butterflies and rainbows for everybody. It's just not. And
No.
Angela had a hard time, and her little brother was there for her.
And
Yep.
Chad is such a sweetheart. Chad made me cry. You made me cry when Chad cried. You made me cry
Oh,
because he
he's a
showed his
good
vulnerable side when he was standing there telling Taya how he felt that he loved her and
guy.
telling from the beginning, and then he dropped a tear, and I was like, oh.
Yeah. He's a good guy. I enjoyed Chad. He's a good
Yeah.
guy.
So, are we going to see any more of any of them? Not, I'm not saying a full story, or I don't,
Once
um,
I'm working on once I finish editing these shorts, the quarantine shorts, I had one more story to add to it, and I'm wrapping that up. The crew has actually been talking to me, so you'll probably see Taya and Chad cameos in the crew, because and I gotta say this out loud so that I can hold myself accountable, so that people can fill up my inbox and keep on asking me when I'm gonna do what I said I was gonna do. That seems to work sometimes. No, it don't. But uh Bree and Saber, I'm working on their story. And when I say working on, I mean I got about 5,000 words written, and those may get cut out because I don't know where to go with their story. It's so many things that could happen. And also the other two members of the crew, I don't know if you guys remember them, Kimmy Wells and of course Jock. I got a, I got a storyline in place for them. Seeing that Kimmy is Native American, I'm having to do some research, and I have a reader that's helping me out with researching Indian reservations and that lifestyle. And it is crazy how similar Indian reservations and or Native Americans, um, the issues that they deal with are so similar to the issues that African Americans deal with. The things that she's been telling me and helping me to, create this character, it's gonna blow y'all's mind. I can't wait until I can sit down and get those stories fleshed out. They're gonna be shorts, but they're gonna be full. They're gonna be packed shorts. So you'll walk away with some pretty
I'm
intense.
not a um, novella short story type of girl.
Yeah,
I'll read them. I'll read them if it's like what you're saying, where I'm gonna get information, an update on the sub characters. You know what I'm
right,
saying? I
right,
don't knock any author who writes novellas if that's where um, your span is,
right.
um, because well, I'm not gonna say. Well, I'll tell you when we get off why I feel like
Okay.
that. But I love when I can like I don't need to have a whole me personally, a whole story. I prefer a full novel as well. But like I said, if I can get updates on a character, like oh I love them, am I going to see them again? Am I going to hear about them again? So I love them, especially around Valentine's Day,
Yeah, yeah,
Thanksgiving, Christmas. I love them, or like you're saying, it's going to be full. Um, like the ones they just dropped. It was a short, but it was full. It was packed. It was like it was just enough because I was teasing her about something she said, and then I was like, "Girl, what the hell y'all be coming up with these? Y'all be coming up with these sayings and stuff." He
yeah,
deflowered the got deflowered by the flower man. I was like, I'm about to holler. I'm about to fall out and holler. When y'all come up with them little quirky things, it's like it's hilarious. It breaks
yeah,
up the seriousness sometimes
yeah.
in a book. So
Because it can
I
get
don't know if I
heavy.
covered all my notes, Sabrina. I don't know. Just know I loved it. I love most of everything, you do. I'm not
Thank
gonna
you.
ever say what's my favorite. I love how you still incorporate. Can't think the name of the dress shop.
Oh, spectrums from
I
the color
love
spectrum.
yes. How
Yeah,
I still love her energy. How it's like who passed up on dressing these curves.
these hips, these curves.
I thought
Yeah,
she was gonna bust that lady and one lady getting her nose and she started losing some weight. I'm like,
bitch, you
I
got the
mean,
nerve.
and I know how she feels. I know how
Yeah.
I considering I just, but it wasn't with getting dressed. It's like I tell my business. These need to go. These heavyweights right here need to go.
I got
Um,
some too. I got
but
some.
they want me to be. They want me to lose like 100 and something pounds. Won't
Whew.
even consider this.
Nothing less,
Basically,
girl.
I was told. So you could come make this appointment. So when you reach that goal, then you could come in and see us.
Wow, wow.
Okay.
The audacity.
Right. And it's like, but I'm not gonna reach that goal. I mean, I fight a thyroid issue, and that's
Hmm.
not an excuse. It's like I'll lose so much, and then it just
And you
stops. And I
plateau.
don't care. Yes, I don't care what I do, and I push past a lot of my pain. Like the older I've gotten, I've got rheumatoid arthritis in my back. I went walking yesterday because I just needed to. I feel like I just needed to be doing, get outside, get some exercise, do something. And I
Yeah.
walked a mile and a half, and then I came home and was busy, busy, busy cooking and doing da 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 da. And then by the time I got into bed, I was in so much pain because I had irritated the nerves. So it's
Girl.
like it's easy for you to throw out. So I felt that when she said, "Well,
Yeah.
if you lose weight, you can come back." I
Yeah.
don't know what y'all think that big people just big girls just want to
Yeah.
be. No, we
We can
work with
we
what
can
we got.
just okay, let me lose 100 pounds. Yeah, I can do that. It's
Right,
not that
right,
deep.
right. We work with what we got, but come on
Yeah.
now. Oh yeah, like I was literally on the phone at work on top of that, and I was like, "I'm sorry, what, what'd you say?
Say what
I'm
now?
sorry." The day before the appointment, on top of that, you calling me today. Oh, okay, right. And I was like, okay. And I'm my anyway. So I felt that. I felt all of that. But I
Yeah.
love Cake Bay. I
Yes.
just love it. I love it.
Yes.
I love all of it. So I mean, I'm sure you've heard this plenty of times. You're very talented. I love it. Like I said, I've read.
Thank you.
I swear, I still can't remember who introduced me to that book, but I swear for Jesus, the bodies that had
Probably
me.
Miss Carolyn, because she was the Miss Carolyn introduced me to a lot that I didn't know. Like she opened my eyes to this community as a whole. Miss Carolyn Jackson, I owe her free books for life because she's the one who introduced me to
It wasn't
indie
Carolyn.
love, to Sister Girls Book Club. I mean, yeah,
Okay.
she
No,
plugged me in.
it wasn't Carolyn, but I don't know. I don't know. It might have been. I might have been in a group and somebody might have,
Yeah.
said something. But I was on it after that. It's like, what else she got? What else? What else? What else she got? And I try to go back and catch up on stuff, but sometimes it ain't. It ain't. I don't know
Yeah,
what baby mama Shondell. Who's baby mama Shondell?
that's Briscoe's baby mama name. And I see Monique
Oh,
saying that she still wanted a story for D and Posey. Listen, y'all. Listen, I need to address this right now.
okay.
Because
Wait, yeah. Wait. D, I don't know his story. Where he come from?
Listen, when you hear the story, you're gonna wonder why people keep asking me to write him a story because they know the type of stories I write. Listen to me. Listen to this. Get your friends to come and listen to this right now. Dee and Posey were introduced in Naughty and Nasty, an erotic series. They were sub characters. D is mentally retarded. Okay. He,
Like for real.
he's not, yeah, he's mentally retarded and he's hilarious. So I get why people love him. He's modeled off of a person I knew in real life who was also named Dwight. And he is true to Dwight fashion. He will have you laughing because he just said whatever come out his mouth. His mental capacity, I think I said, was that of an 8-year-old. And I highlight that
Okay.
because that's real life. We all, some of us have family members who have mental disabilities, and I'm not one to hide them. I want, I want to highlight that because they add they've added to my life. People in my life who've had, mental handicaps have added to my life just as much as regular or, people with their full mental capacity. And Posey has Down syndrome. That's his girlfriend.
Okay.
Monique, yeah, he's plus his best friend. That's right.
Okay.
Plus,
Because when she said now you're gonna have me saying it wrong. Gestational diabetes, and them fools say that.
that's that's that's
And
him.
then when they sat on the floor and was like the cake, and I was reading, I was like, okay,
He
they
love him some cake, baby. He love him
slow.
some
I was like,
cake.
why Sabrina make them clowns like they? So now I get it. I get it.
Yeah, he's
Okay,
mentally
okay.
retarded, and plus helped him. You know how Plus got him home from school one day, and they was friends ever since then. But Monique be harassing me every chance she get, try to get a story for D and Posey, and of course I can't give them a story, Monique. I can't write. I can't write a story without no sex scenes. I can't. At this point, I don't think I can. I thought when I first started, I was gonna be able to write women's fiction, and I wasn't gonna have to incorporate sex because sex scenes are difficult, but they've gotten easier. I just give me a cup of alcohol and they flow. But I can't write no story for D and Posey because I can't write them having sex without without looking like a big ass dirt bag out here. I'm just not doing that. I'm not. If you want to know how they doing, I'm gonna tell you right now. They good. They quarantining. They healthy. They
You know,
eating
you said everybody and their mama to Jamaica except for D and Miss Bo.
cake. And I didn't do that on purpose. I swear to God, I didn't do that on purpose. She been
Okay,
coming
so
for
that now at least
me.
now I have a clear understanding because I promise you, I was like, I'm like, okay, what they trying to be funny? What is gas station?
Yeah,
And I was like, what?
I
I said, here goes
can't.
Sabrina. Here goes Sabrina again. Somebody said, Vet said they need love too.
They
She
gonna
said,
get
why
love
not?
too. They getting
Monique
all the
said,
love.
why not? All lives matter. Okay, y'all wrong.
Get off
Y'all
of here.
wrong.
Josh,
Y'all
block
wrong.
Monique.
Blocker.
Block Monique from the group. Just get her out of here. Oh man, I do
Yeah,
love
people
those.
are so yeah,
Whew.
she's right. People are so sensitive nowadays. But anyway,
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to whatever else you put out. Let me know and I will promote it 100 percent. I love your work.
Thank you. I
Um
appreciate it. I appreciate everything you do, Josh. You be going hard for us out here.
I try. You know
You
what? I
do.
think it's natural. It's I can't even call it. Devin be like,
If
stop
it's
being so
natural, that's a
humble.
good thing. You got a big heart. You got a good heart, and you showing love, and we need that. We need all of that.
Yeah, yes, yes,
We
yes.
appreciate it. I appreciate it, like for real.
Thank you, and I appreciate y'all writing these good old stories. I do, because I know it ain't easy.
It's
I
not.
know it. Like I said, I'll talk to you when we get off here. I know it ain't easy.
Because the people
Because
like
if I say
Monique,
too much, then it'll be like, you. So I ain't saying too much of nothing, but I know it ain't easy. So, thank you guys. This has been, promise I couldn't wait. I was almost jealous. Bailey beat me to the punches. I was almost like, she knew I had already said I was going to talk to Sabrina. You going,
here
okay.
she
All
go.
right.
Look.
I said,
She tried to
you know,
reschedule me. I was like, I ain't going nowhere. I'm off this week. I'm gonna do you, and I'm gonna do Josh. We having a week
I
party.
said, we putting Sabrina on tour this week. She's like, I know, huh? I was like, yeah. Yeah, we put her on tour for real, for real. So I appreciate you. Like I'm new to this. There was a time you couldn't get my fat cheeks nowhere on the
Girl,
live.
we
I'd
got
talk real fast and
matching.
get off, but I
Now
have
you
been
a pro at it.
enjoying. I have been enjoying chit chatting with you guys. I really have. Last week was really cool. So next week, for those of you who haven't read it, get ready. I'm gonna be bringing Miss Shy Ashley Nicole. Um,
Oh,
Ashley, I don't know why Ashley
we'll
try
have
to
to
act
bring her
like
out of
she's
that shell.
please. So we're gonna be um, bless your heart, and everybody know what that really means. Bless your.
We all know.
That was a good book. So funny like you. So I'll be talking to Miss Ashley Nicole next Friday. Okay, like I said, I can't say I'll be doing this every Friday, but I got a couple of more people I'm gonna hit up um that are actually in here, but I'm waiting for them to, So anyway, yeah. But I have enjoyed
That's
this, Miss Sabrina. I didn't mean to take up an hour and a half of your hour and 35 minutes of your time,
that's all
but
right. That's
I
all right.
really appreciate you in the house on a COVID ain't letting us go nowhere.
Yeah, I ain't got nothing else to say. I ain't had nothing else to do. It was so
Girl, and
fun.
our governor suing our mayor, child, bye.
Oh Lord.
He is suing the mayor because she put in
Oh
now. Well, she's not my mayor because I don't live in the city of Atlanta, but I
yeah,
work in the city of Atlanta. But still, yeah, he's
girl.
suing because she want to put in a mandate for masking,
My
according to
God.
him. Like you ain't got nothing else to do, bro. No,
Lord
you
have mercy.
mad because she's getting all of this public publicity. But
Yeah.
so again, thank you so much, Sabrina. Thank you guys for hanging with us this evening. Hope you enjoyed your glass of wine. See how slow I drink? Yeah,
I ain't
I've been
even through
sipping them.
because I've been and slid down the stairs.
Girl, and that's LB calls that punch. Josh, get you some real wine. Whatever, I'm good with this punch. I'm not a wine connoisseur like that. But yeah, she be trying to get you right. Thank you, ladies. You guys have a good evening, and I'll keep this up for a week, and then it'll go on the YouTube channel. If Sabrina don't
Okay.
mind, it'll go on the
I
YouTube
don't
channel.
mind.
Um, so if anybody missed it, you can catch it over there. You all have a great Friday night. Thank you, Roslyn. Thank you,
Love
everybody.
y'all.
I appreciate it. See y'all later.